The hospital corridors smelled of antiseptic and faint bleach, the fluorescent lights humming like a nervous pulse. She moved quietly among them, scrubs rustling softly, clipboard pressed to her chest. No one noticed the calm in her steps, the way her eyes measured every monitor, every four-line, every sleeping patient. It was 2:17 a.m., and the night had settled like a fragile promise over the city. Outside, rain drummed against the windows, relentless and precise, mirroring the rhythm of her own restrained heartbeat. She paused at the nurse's station, adjusting a patient's chart, the memory of a mission long ago flickering in her mind, the one that ended in a wound she never spoke of. Her hands were steady, but inside, the memory clawed at her. Faces she could not save, orders ignored, moments when hesitation had cost lives. No one here knew. No one would ever know. She was a nurse, just another face in a hospital that hummed with routine, but her mind was sharper, disciplined, trained for things no one imagined. A soft radio click broke the silence. Not the hospital channel, something encrypted, urgent. A voice, calm but tense, whispered orders from the floor above. Her pulse quickened imperceptibly. Something was coming. She adjusted her watch, noting the second hand's slow, steady spin. The calm would not last. The city outside the windows had no idea the storm that had entered these walls. And she, underestimated and quiet, was about to become the anchor. By the time the FBI team arrived, she had already surveyed the wing, every corridor, stairwell, and exit. They assumed she was just a nurse, soft-spoken, invisible. But she already knew the angles, the weak points, the timing of doors and alarms. The call came through again. There was a threat, a bag left in the hall, mysterious, dangerous. She instructed the staff, quietly, precisely, moving patients in silence, minimizing panic. Agents barked at her once, confused, questioning her authority. She merely glanced at them, calm and unshakable, correcting mistakes with gestures and single-word commands. They did not understand. Yet. Footsteps echoed behind the stairwell door. 3 intruders, masked, patient, calculated. Her eyes scanned them. Not soldiers, not uniformed operatives. But trained. Highly trained. Each movement weighed, measured. The agents moved to intercept, but she stepped forward, subtly redirecting them. Keep them calm. Keep them visible. Do not alarm them. She watched as her instructions reshaped the environment. She had no authority, yet every decision carried weight. The first confrontation was mechanical and emotional. One of the intruders tried to trigger panic, lifting the bag as if testing response. She reacted before anyone else could, blocking paths, instructing subtle maneuvers, directing agents in silence, while ensuring no patient saw fear in her eyes. Her mind was a battlefield of tactics, ethics, and memory, the echoes of lives lost, of hesitation she would never forgive herself for. Minutes stretched like hours. Every sound, ventilation, monitor beeps, footfalls, was a signal, a cue. Every choice could be catastrophic. One wrong move, one misstep, and the cost would not just be measured in property but in lives. She communicated with the restrained intruder through calm, minimal words, issuing commands that carried authority he could not deny. Slowly the tide shifted. The FBI began to realize they were no longer in charge here. The building obeyed her rhythms. Alarms silenced themselves under her control, doors locked strategically, patients moved with care and precision. Every action, small but exact, bought time, saved lives, and slowly isolated the threat. By the time the final countdown came, the silent, looming threat of the bag, the intruders were exposed, trapped not by weapons, but by her calculated, uncompromising authority. In the silence, she allowed herself a breath. She had taken control, but at the cost of every instinct screaming in her mind. This was bigger than protocols, bigger than rules, bigger than anyone's understanding. Memories resurfaced. Missions gone wrong, colleagues lost, promises broken. Every patient she saved tonight mirrored those she could not protect in the past. Her hands were steady, but the weight pressed on her chest. She had authority now, but the cost was deeply personal. The intruders recognized it too. The restrained man looked at her, the veil lifted. "You're not just a nurse," he said. "No," she whispered, steady. "I'm the one responsible for what happens here." Her command was quiet but absolute. She had reclaimed control of the night, the building, the lives inside, but the shadow of what she carried, the memories, the guilt, the unspoken sacrifices, was still heavy. She was alone in that weight, yet resolute. Her quiet authority had ended the standoff, but her soul carried the echoes of every past failure she could not erase. The bag was neutralized. The intruders escorted out. Patients safe. agents aware they had been mere instruments in her orchestrated plan. She stepped back into the corridor, adjusting her scrubs, chart in hand. No one noticed her except the charge nurse. No applause. No headlines. Only the hum of monitors, the rhythm of a hospital that would continue unbroken because she had been there. She paused at the window, watching the pale morning light break across the city. Quiet, uncelebrated, yet profoundly complete, she exhaled. The night had ended. She had carried responsibility alone. And life, fragile but intact, went on.